Good morning, everybody. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Zoom as well. So I'm just getting my mics handy. And thank you to beautiful Vicky for coming in. And she's practicing with me again on a Saturday morning. Good to see you all. So I hope you're looking after yourselves. Hope you're all feeling well. This morning's practice is going to be a lot of hip and hamstring mobility. Whether you want to go down the path of the strength work that I'm adding in today, you will have a choice. So you can do the strength work that we're going to approach more in a kneeling position, so you don't have to go the full way. But if you're feeling curious, because I know a few of you who practice with me on Saturdays like to play a little bit, I'll add in some variations for a bit of play. I think that we take life quite seriously sometimes, and something that I've noticed as a yoga teacher when I observe a yoga room, and even when I observe my own practice, is that sometimes we can take yoga very seriously. And the best thing about my teacher, and I think Sasha's with us and she'll know this too, is that she didn't really take the postures very seriously. She took her Buddhist practices, her meditation quite seriously, but she really didn't take the postures very seriously. And that's what I would like to endow to my students. I don't think you become a better person when you finally get that handstand. You get your handstand, you still go home and your partner still says, you didn't do the dishes and you didn't look after that need that I really need looked after today. You know, you're not miraculously a better human because you can now stand on your head, you know. And so don't take the postures too seriously. Let it be a game, let it be a play. And yeah, so today we're just going to be curious and have a bit of play, and most of all, just really mobilise and open through the hips and even a bit through the shoulders and the torso as well. So let's begin. My favourite place, on your back. I hope your room is warm. You will need today, if you've got either a yoga strap or even just the tie of your robe or something like that handy. You can have a block handy, but I don't think we're going to desperately need that block. So mainly a strap today or a tie of your robe or something that can be used for stretching. All right, everybody, lay on back, soles of the feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana. If that doesn't feel fab though, you know you can just stretch the legs out. So when it comes to this position, Supta Baddha Konasana, and hello Cass, I see you too. So Supta Baddha Konasana, if you find that it's a little bit tight on your hips, so if you find that it doesn't feel quite right, you can always move the soles of the feet further away from the groin. If it feels comfy to keep the feet close to the groin, then go for that. Spaciousness in the body, true spaciousness and openness, is not really possible unless we find some spaciousness in the mind. So I want you in your own time here to just allow the shoulders to relax down into the floor. Take a big breath in through the nose. Sigh out, let it go. And again, inhale. Let it go. And inhale. Let it go. Beautiful. So I just want you here to allow that breath to reach deeper down into your low lungs. I hope Zoom, everyone can hear me. I just said I was going on driving mode. I'm not sure why. I'm just going to check everything's on sound. So just allow your shoulders to relax down into the floor. And I'm going to give you a counting breath. And today we'll keep it nice and simple. So in for 4 and out for 4. So exhaling the air through the nose. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, out, in, out. And just keep that breath moving in through the nose and out through the nose. The challenge in a flow practice, where sometimes we introduce interesting or fancy stuff, is can you keep this breath going, this spaciousness in your breath while you're in those movements? That, in my mind, is the challenge of flow. And that is how you can do these postures that are interesting or unusual and still feel really good when you leave the practice and sleep better and feel better. By breathing well. This is the core, the key of the practice. So don't ever compromise that breath. I want you, when you're ready, to bring your knees in towards each other and hug your knees in towards your chest. And if it feels good to massage the back into the floor, feel free to do so. We're just going to mobilise a little bit through the groin. So one hand on each knee. Split the knees wide apart. Circle the legs out, around and in. So yeah, making big circular stirring movements with those hips. And just noticing for you today, how does everything feel through those hips and groin? And if you've circled one way, do circle the other way as well. And then when you're ready, I want you to take your strap by your side. And we're going to hook our right foot in that strap or that tie or whatever it is you've got. You need something to be able to stretch that leg up to the ceiling. And just mobilizing through the hamstrings. So Vicky's doing a beautiful example here of having the left leg bent with the sole of the foot flat on the floor. And that keeps the pelvis nice and stable. If, of course, you prefer to straighten that left leg out long on the mat, you can feel free to do that. And Vix, you just go with whatever feels good. So you can work through your ankle as Vicky's doing here. You can roll, you can point, you can flex. All of you are really familiar students here. I can see a few of you on Facebook that have tuned in as well. Good to see you guys. So we're working just that mobilizing of the ankle, prepping it up. How's your breath? In this simple movement, is it still spacious? Wonderful. I want you from here to take both straps into your right hand. So straps into your right hand. Now today what I'm going to ask you to do to mobilize and stabilize the pelvis a little bit is bend your left knee again, sole of your left foot on the floor. And as you let your left leg drop out to the left, your right leg drops out to the right. That's it. So your left knee is bent, your right leg is straightish, and you're working that opening through the hip. And so your pelvis is nice and stable. I want you to imagine now that there is, let's say, a bowl of water sitting on your pelvis. And as we make these movements, I do not want that bowl of water to slosh about. I want it to stay nice and stable. Sweep that leg down toward the top of the mat. That's it. You're going to create big circles with this hip and then sweep the leg up to the ceiling and out. So you can make these circles as you move. Nice. Yeah, good idea, Vix. She's just extended her strap because it was very short with a loop. So as you're circling here, you are opening up through the hip. Now, for some of us, it's okay if you get clicking or grinding. That's okay. Grinding doesn't sound like a very nice word, but as long as there's nothing sharp or pingy. If you are feeling anything a bit sharp or pingy, I want your circles to be small and controlled, and that will work more core. How's that bowl of water going? Yes, I just saw a beautiful stability shift for Vicky there too. She altered it to small movements, worked a bit of core. And if you haven't circled the other way, do a bit of that as well. Whether your circles are big or circles are small is irrelevant. We're just mobilizing through that hip joint. And the next time that leg comes out to the right side, big inhale. The twist, exhale, leg across the body, left hand takes the strap and you open up for the twist. Yes, and now that pelvis can shift. So your right arm reaches out toward the right hand side of the space. Keep your right shoulder blade anchored and feel your chest open. Really noticing if down the right side of your body, if that right hip is hitched up toward your ear, lengthen your right side. Yes, by wrapping that right hip down away from your chest. Beautiful. Just 2 more big breaths here. And when you're ready, bring that leg back up to center. Very good. Easy switch. When you're ready, left foot hooks up in the strap and take the right foot out. And you're just going to start with that lovely hamstring mobility work. So you're going to work pointing, flexing, rolling the ankle, just doing what feels good. We will do a little standing balancing today, so I want to make sure the ankle is nice and prepared. Fab. Beautiful. When you are ready, straps into your left hand. Bend your right knee, and as you let that left leg drop out to the left, you roll onto the outside blade of your right foot. Yes, and you wing it open. So you keep that pelvis nice and stable. Remember, imagine there's a bowl of water there and we don't want it sloshing about. Sweeping the leg down toward the front of the mat and just following your instincts here. Do you want to do just big circles? Do you want to do just small circles? Do you want to do combo? So just noticing how it feels to mobilize through that hip and keeping that pelvis beautifully stable. And often you'll find if your circles get too big, you won't be able to keep stable through that hip. So it's that fine line in the practice between stability and mobility. And if you circled one way, go the other way as well. The next time that leg is out to the left, big inhale. And when you're ready, twist, exhale. Leg sweeps across the body, straps to the right hand, left arm reaches out to open up the chest. And so we don't lose or compromise the alignment of the posture, can you wrap that left hip down so you lengthen your left side waist? Yes, rather than letting that left hip tip up to the ear. How's your breath? So we'll certainly be doing a bit of mobility to warm up for today's practice. I gave Vix a little bit of an initiation, like, what are we going to do today? And she attempted it without warming up. I said, can we just warm up first? Well done. Bring that leg back to center. Take that strap off the foot in your own time and hug both knees in towards your chest. Wonderful. So when you are ready, we are going to hold onto the backs of the thighs. We will rock up. We will take a brief Navasana. So take your time. You can rock as many or as little times as you like. And once you come up, the hands are wherever is comfy, whether they're behind your legs or out to the side. Keep the chest open. Breathe into your back for 3, for 2. Beautiful hands and knees, tabletop when you're ready. So wrists under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and we'll just work in your own time through a little bit of that cat-cow to mobilize through your spine. And I know who's practicing today. I've seen your names and I know you all, and I know that in your own practice, you know how to cat-cow. So I want you to just go where the pleasure is, find the stiff spots, roll it out however you need to. What is your back saying to you today? Nice, that's it. Wonderful. And then when you are ready, you can come back through center. I know some of you prefer child's pose before you down dog. Go there. Some of you are happy to go straight to down dog, and that is your option too. So those of you in child's pose at center, I'll ask you to focus on the length through your spine. Instead of letting your forearms drop to the floor, keep it an active posture. Yes, so you might get on the fingertips, but don't let those shoulders creep up around the ears. Wrap the shoulders away from your ears, and we're focusing on active length. Breathe wide into your back. Those of you in down dog, you know where to go. You can pedal out the feet, make any movements you like. If you're in child's with me, 2 more breaths. Your destination, downward facing dog. You've done a bit of mobility, let's start getting warmer. So in your down dog, those of you who've just arrived, if you have any movement you need to do, of course you can go there. Make any movement that feels good. We are going to work through a bit of rolling dog to turn on the arms, the core. So rippling forward through plank on your inhale. Bend the knees, rolling back, straightening the legs. And just when you're ready, you need some more sweat on your palms. It's too cold, Vicky. Rippling forward, bend and back. So you're waking up through the arms, through the spine, through the hamstrings. 2 more. We're only going to go this direction today. Well done. From that down dog, walking your hands to the back of your yoga mat. Taking a half lift. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, you fold. And just let your head hang, the knees soft. And if you prefer movement in your forward fold or ragdoll, you can go there. If you prefer stillness, you can go there. And just opening your awareness to how the back line of your body feels. The hamstrings, the spine, the neck. If you wish to open the neck a little more, you can bring your hands behind your head, gently traction downward to lengthen your neck and get a little space through that cervical spine. How does that feel? Beautiful. When you are ready, release your hands, rolling up through standing. The arms reach up and wide. Good morning. Inhale and exhale, you fold. Walking your hands forward, plank position. Good work. And just noticing your breath here. We do need to wake up your waist, so bring your feet to touch. Both hands will stay on the floor. I promise we will do side plank later. Roll into the outside blade of your left foot. Stack your right foot on top. Keep weight in your right hand. So this is a spinal twist and an oblique awakener rather than your side plank. Very good. Back through center, you switch. Roll onto the outside blade of the other foot. Keep weight in your left hand. Breathe for 3, 2, good work, Vix. And back to center. Shoulders past the wrist, knees to the floor. Lower your belly all the way down. Low cobra. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. You lengthen. And exhale, you lower. Inhale again. Lift, lengthen, roll it back. And exhale, lower. Once more, you lift, lengthen, roll the shoulders back. And exhale, lower. Rolling cobra, hands off the edge of your mat, lifting the chest up, lifting the ribs, looking over the right shoulder, inhale and roll it. So you're going to be lowering that head and drawing almost semicircles as you look over each shoulder as the end of the movement. And I know some of you like to do big circles and involve the neck. Do what feels good. Waking up your back is the goal. So when I was talking about what to take seriously in the practice, I would say your breathing and how the posture is feeling are the 2 things you should pay really close attention to and really aim for. Whether you get it right is irrelevant. Beautiful. When you feel even, I want you to come back through center. When you're ready, hands by your chest, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, head on back. Very good. Take 2 more deep breaths into your back. Wonderful. In your own time, rippling forward through plank. Inhale. Knees on or off the floor. Chaturanga. Exhale. Back bend of choice. In breath. Down dog. Your exhale. Wonderful. Shift the gaze toward the hands. Utkatasana. Walk, step, hop to the top of the mat. So as you come into your chair, your arms, however is comfy. So whether your arms are up by your ears or your elbows are boxed, breath into your back and find that seat. Nice. For 3, 2, forward fold, hands sweep behind your back, clasp your hands and stretching the hands, yes, forward toward the top of your mat. And there was a lovely movement that Vicky just did that I hope you did also, where when you took the hands, you pulled the shoulders away from your ears to lengthen your neck, and then the hands moved toward the top of the mat or beyond the top of the mat. That space in your neck is pivotal. For 3, 2, release the hands, sweep past the feet, reach up to the ceiling, light extension, and exhale, you fold. Take a half lift, in breath, step or float back, full vinyasa, or you can skip it if you prefer. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg lifts up. Bend your right knee, heel to the sit bone, then peel open that hip, 3-legged dog. Keep the shoulders nice and square and stable today, so no dipping through that left shoulder. Good work. Take an inhale when you're ready. Knee to nose, the exhale. Kick back, in breath. Knee to your right arm, touch that tricep, that's it. Kick back, in breath. Knee to the opposite arm, fallen triangle, thread it through. Foot might be on the floor, or of course you can have it lifted. Vix, oh, she's doing it. You don't have to do that. Hand to the floor, kick that right leg up and back. Kneeling lunge, Anjaneyasana. Place that foot, back knee down, arms reaching up. So let the shoulders again drop away from your ears. You just did a bit of arm work, and now it's about getting that space. Good work. I want you to form a bracelet around your left wrist with your right fingers, and you're going to do a side bend to the right. So a little bit of a lateral flexion, gently pulling upwards and over to the right, and feeling that space down the left side of your body. How does your breath respond to this? How does your balance respond to this? Keep pushing that right foot down into the floor. Good work. For 3, 2, back to neutral spine. Lovely. Hands to the floor, half split, Ardha Hanuman, straightening out that right leg, toes flex back toward you, and keep your spine long. And exhale, if you wish to fold and round the spine, you may. So really focusing on hamstring length. It doesn't matter how deep you come, I just want you to get that space through the hammies and breathe into your back. Wonderful. So generally when we do a pose like this, when we're on the one plane with the hamstrings, because you have 3 hamstrings, we're usually accessing probably the middle hamstring. And in a moment, soon, we're going to be doing an exercise that will target more of the 3 hamstrings. All right, let's bring hands inside that right leg. Sweep your right leg to the back of the mat, kneeling side plank. Left knee stays on the floor, right hand reaches up. So I want you to remember this shape, because when we get to the second round with the standing flow, I'm going to give you an option, if you don't want to do the full side plank, to remember this shape instead. Reach your arm beyond your ear, lengthen all the way from fingers to toes. I'm going to roll through. So sweep the arm past the face, that's it, and then sweep it up and around. Now as you exhale, bend into that right knee, roll to the back of the mat, that's it, and inhale, reach. So that way you get a bit of hip opening at the same time as opening up that hip. So rolling through the shoulder, and this can be 360 degrees. If you want to reach that arm more behind you, you can. Beautiful. That's it. Let's do a couple more rolls. Wonderful. Good. Well done. When you're ready, we come back into now kneeling side plank to kneeling Ardha Chandra Chapasana. So you've got that leg lifted, active right foot. So now you've lifted that right foot. I want you to experiment here. Turn your right toes out toward the ceiling. Yes, hello glute, it might burn a little bit. Bend your knee in toward your armpit. Gently take hold of the knee. Yes, step that foot to the top of the mat. Very good. Hands inside your foot, lizard pose. So we're going to do a bit of rolling through the hip here. So I want you to roll onto the pinky blade of the foot. Now, trying to stay on that pinky blade, try and straighten that leg and go move your hips backward to like a half split. That's it. And then placing the foot back down, bend the knee. So now you're going to create a circular rolling movement there. Exactly. You can see if you're a bit lost, don't worry, Vicky's doing a beautiful example. So you're rolling through that hip, and as you're trying to straighten that leg on the pinky blade of the foot, you'll probably get more into that outer hamstring that rarely gets touched. So just getting that rolling movement into the hips. Well done. Beautiful. When you are ready, one more. Then you bend back into that knee. Beautiful. Press the palms into the floor. Tuck the left toes, three-legged dog. Kick that right leg all the way back. Bend the knee, peel open the hip, just a yawn open through the pelvis. Good work stabilizing those shoulders. Square off the hips, point the foot, any flow you want. Shift forward to plank. And yes, some of you might do single-legged, some of you traditional, some of you knees down. Listen to what your body needs and how it feels. Very good. Yeah, shift the gaze to the top of your mat. Utkatasana, chair pose. Very good. I want you to choose a shoulder position that you might not have done last time. So you might be having arms up by the ears, you might be boxing the arms, or you can even reach them out in front, palms up like you're serving someone a platter. Good. Find your seat for 3, for 2, forward fold, exhale. Good work. Take a half lift, step or float back. Full vinyasa is optional. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Inhale, your left leg lifts. Left leg, good. Bend the knee, peel open the hip. Good, it's early for us too. And when you're ready, you want to square off those shoulders. So stabilizing through that shoulder girdle. Very good. One more inhale. Your exhale, knee to nose. Shoulders over the wrists. Kick back, in breath. Knee to the left arm, exhale. Kick back, in breath. Fallen triangle, knee to the opposite arm, option to thread the foot through with it touching the floor or not. For 3, it's so much harder to lift it afterward, Vix. Well done. Hand to the floor, kick the left leg up and back. Anjaneyasana, exhale. Back knee down. Arms reach up, and after that arm work, I want you to be really conscious of the shoulders. Shoulders relaxed, fingers active. Form a bracelet around your right wrist and gently pulling upward and sideways over to the left. And again, observe, don't let that right shoulder creep up around the ear. Yes, keep that space. You can still pull upward without pulling that shoulder upward. Very good. Back through center. Half split, Adho Hanuman, exhale, hands to the floor. The spine lengthens, and up to you if you're folding deeper if you need it. And if some of you, like myself, get really tight through the upper back, it can feel really nice to round the back. So I have no issues if you prefer rounded back, head dropped, or if you find you prefer a long spine and the gaze more toward the foot. Just go where feels good. So, sorry if you got a bit confused on the first side with the sequence. The good news is you've done it now, and we can attempt the other side, and hopefully it'll be clearer. Thank you, Vicky, for being so clear. Hands inside the foot, kneeling side plank. Plant the palms, sweep the left leg to the back of the mat, and then that left arm reaches up toward the ceiling. You got that nice stable stack of shoulders, yes, good Vicky, of wrist underneath the shoulders. Lengthen that left arm over your ear, getting that space, beautiful, through the side body. Sweep the arm now down past the face, and as you come back, bend into that back knee to open up the hip. Inhale, reach. So it's up to you how big those circles are with that arm, with that shoulder. The arm can come more behind you if you want. Getting space and mobility through shoulders, through hips. Keep breathing. One more full circle, sweeping past the face, bending that knee, reaching up now to the ceiling, and floating that left leg up to the ceiling for your Chapasana variation in kneeling. Now, no, Vix, not today. She automatically wants that quad stretch. I'm not letting you have it. How evil. Let the left toes turn to the ceiling. Externally rotate that hip. I know that could burn, and that's good. Bring that left knee in toward the armpit. Maybe hold the knee. Step the left foot to the top of the mat. Lizard. Hands come inside your left foot. We're going to move into those rolling hip openers. So roll onto the outside blade of that foot. Maybe try and straighten and move your hips to the back of the mat while on the pinky blade. And bend back in and roll. So I really did talk through it quite clinically, but when you get into the movement, it's a lot more instinctive than that. So you're really just following motion of rolling through the hips, moving the hips forward to the front of the mat and back. And if you're feeling something useful in your hips, your hamstrings, you're in a perfect place. Just a couple more rolling circles to open up through that hip and the hammies. Wonderful. When you're ready, plant the palms, shoulders over wrists, tuck the right toes, three-legged dog. Kick your left leg up and back, peel open the hip, bend the knee just to yawn it out. Very good. Square off the hips, straighten the legs. Some of you float with the leg lifted or foot to the floor. Vinyasa. Very good. Downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Release through the mouth. Inhale. Let it go. Once more in. And out. Lovely. Walking your hands to the back of your mat. Just taking a moment to fold. Notice how the hamstrings are feeling, how the back is feeling. I want you to grab your strap and I want you to slowly roll up to standing. I'm going to do a little bit of flossing through the shoulders and opening up. Oh, Vicky likes the sound of that. Do you want to open our face toward us, Vix? And so, guys, you want to take the strap in front of you and let's say a meter-ish distance. You're going to work out pretty quickly if your hands need to be wider apart on that tie of your robe or the strap. So arms lengthen out in front. And when you're ready, winding those arms up overhead and opening up. If that's really hard, hands need to be wider apart. If it's really easy, hands closer together. And I want you to just explore that motion. You might be coming forward and back. Today I'm not going to guide your breath necessarily. It might be the inhale as you open. Yeah, good. So you just want to explore that range of motion in the forward and back, really noticing how that chest opens up. Finding that balance between challenge and not pushing. Good work. Nice. And now reach your arms overhead. And we're going to explore now bending the left arm and bringing, yes, pulling down, opening up, yeah, through that armpit, the side. And then you just explore that now. So you might be working, yeah, opening up through that armpit. So you might find that top arm bends a little bit, or maybe it doesn't. I just want you to find some space through those shoulders. And you can explore if something circular happens, and you don't have to do this, Vix, but I'm just saying, basically, there is no rigid format. Yeah, good. Just going where the pleasure is and waking that all up. Just a couple more deep breaths in whatever movement you're making. All right, take your time, back through center. Pop your strap off to the side. So we're going to do something now, and you can keep facing toward us, Vix. We're going to be doing a bit of Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, the fanciest Sanskrit name that you can possibly think of. Hand to foot pose, basically, or hand to knee pose. So I want you from here to shift the weight over onto that left leg, and the right knee lifts. Now, some of you will hold the knee, and Vix, you can demonstrate this either the whole way through, or you can move to foot. It's up to you. So holding onto that knee. Now, I want you to stay at center for now, but eventually when we open up the hip, you'll just be holding onto that knee and winging it out. Some of you I know are comfortable wrapping your pointer finger, your middle finger around your big toes. So you can do that just because you're doing that, and straighten out toward the front if you are. So out toward, that's it. So you're lengthening out in that hand to foot pose and just noticing, yeah, a little bend of the knee might be needed. Good, beautiful. When you're ready, opening up that hip, so winging that leg out to the side. So from here, it's up to you if that left hand stays on your hip or if you're bringing that left arm out to the side. Up to you if you've got the hand open or forming a mudra, pointer finger to thumb. And of course, if you need to make things more interesting, this is interesting enough, but if you need to look at that left hand to get your balance challenged, you can. For 3 big breaths. For 2. Good. Knee back to center. And foot gently to the floor. That's interesting enough. Beautiful. Good. Yeah. Because we've done a lot of mobility work, and now all of a sudden I'm asking you, can you take that mobility and go back to the stability that you did when you were laying on your back? So it's going to feel a little funky. So let's from here, second side, shift the weight now over onto that right leg. The left knee lifts, and you might take hold of the front of that knee with your hand, and that might be totally sufficient. It's interesting enough. You're stabilizing, you're opening up through your hips. Some of you did go to the toes, and that's an option, and lengthening that leg out in front if you're doing that. How's your breath? The moment you stand on one leg, it's very, very easy to be holding your breath, so be mindful. Deep breaths. Very good. When you are ready, the hip opener, peeling that knee out or that foot out to the side. Some of you opened that right arm out to the side as well, either in mudra or the palm open. Mudra is thumb to pointer finger. And of course, I know some of you are super comfy. God forbid, you might look at your right hand. Breathe. For 3. For 2. Well done. Leg back to center. Foot to the floor. Hands to the heart, coming back to the top of your mat in your own time. Good. I want you to take a big breath in through your nose. Sigh out through your mouth. And again, inhale. Let it go. Once more in. Release. Arms reach up and wide. Inhale. And exhale, you fold. Take a half lift and step or float back, full vinyasa, or just down dog if you prefer. Wonderful. Downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg lifts. Beautiful. Knee to the opposite arm. Now fall in triangle. Opposite arm, Vix. That's it. Option to take hold of the foot with your left hand and pushing that foot out toward the wall in front. Or yes, go, Vix. Winging it underneath your ear. Gosh, she was going there. So good. And when you're ready, plant the palms, kick that leg up and back. So it's an experiment, remember. So for those of you who got that foot, you can start rolling it under your ear. Knee to the nose, crescent lunge. Good work. Rise on up. Good work, Vix. That's lovely. Good. Take a big inhale. Long exhale. One more in-breath. Warrior 2. Exhale. Lovely. Exalt in-breath. Side waist opens. That's it. Trikonasana. Exhale. Lengthen the leg. And tip. Beautiful. So noticing your breath in this Trikonasana, we take a moment to pause. Lovely. For 3, 2, we are going to unravel back via Warrior 2 briefly. Skandasana. Bend the left knee and shift that weight over into that left leg. And just lengthening up through the spine. I don't mind what your hands are doing here. They can stay at the heart, they can wing open, your choice, but breathe. Doesn't matter if your left heel touches the floor or if you're up on the ball of your left foot. For 3, for 2, walk your hands to the top of the mat. Plant your palms, side plank. Now remember, you can do kneeling side plank with the left knee down, otherwise right arm to the ceiling, side plank. Now can you stay with me? It's a little experimental. Lifting the right foot up. Good. Bend the knee. Can you take hold of the toes or even the knee? Yes, option to stretch that leg to the ceiling. Now sweep the leg, either holding the knee or foot top of the mat. Good. Back knee down, splits or half splits. Good, Vix. Well done. So don't worry if you were like, what the hell just happened? We get to do it another side, and we'll do another demo after this between. We did do a little practice beforehand, so Vicky was a little more prepared. So now Vix has gone into all that full Hanuman. Some of you are going to go back to that half Hanuman. What I would love you to do is grab your block. You're not going to do it, Vix. Okay. All right. So if you want to slide a little deeper into that semi-split or full split position, is that you're going to use some propping perhaps. So those of you who feel comfy and feel like you don't need it, that's okay. But if you have a block or a rolled up blanket or something handy, what you can see is that Vix has now placed something underneath her thigh. So what I often witness as a yoga teacher, and I'm sure that Vicky will have witnessed this too, and we would have felt it in our own bodies as we are not comfortable deep splitters, is that you see the body will start trembling and resisting the floor. And what you don't want that resistance and trembling, because that's the muscles saying, a little bit much, please stop, be gentle. And so giving yourself something to yield into means that you can actually ask those muscles gently, can you let go? So having something to support you in a deeper split is important. How's everything going, guys? I did say hips and hamstrings today, didn't I? I told the truth. All right, well done. So when you're ready, we are going to wiggle our way back to at least a half split. So you need to push into the floor, wiggle it back, move any props out the way. When you're ready, tuck the left toes, plant the palms, three-legged dogs. You're going to tuck those left toes, kick that right leg up and back, peel open the hip, bend the knee, yawn it open. Of course, you can flip if you're missing your back bends today. Otherwise, just hold open and breathe with me for 3, for 2. Optional vinyasa or even skip it, down dog. See how you feel. Deep breaths into your back if you're holding down dog with us. Good work. We're going to move to left side. Inhale, left leg lifts up. Beautiful. Knee to opposite arm. Thread the foot through. You might take hold of that foot with your right hand, maybe pinky side or toe. And if you like, you can experiment with winging that leg underneath, rolling open. Good. Hands to the floor. Kick that left leg up and back. Beautiful. Bring that foot through. Crescent lunge. Plant the foot, shoulders relaxed. Good work. One more inhale here. Exhale, warrior 2. Exalt your in-breath. Trikonasana, exhale. Getting that space in your hamstrings, which we're doing plenty of today. For 3. For 2. Skandasana, working into that right leg. Very good. So it doesn't matter if your heel touches the floor or not. You're working perhaps length through the spine. Some of you kept hands at heart. Some of you opened up the arms. Just do what feels good. Couple more breaths. Good. For 3. For 2. Lovely. Walk the hands to the top of the mat. Lizard posture first, plant the palms, side plank. So you roll onto that outside blade of that right foot, stack the left foot on top, left arm reaches up. Remember option, you can have the right knee on the floor. Lift the left leg to the ceiling. Bend that knee to chest. Option to take hold of either your knee or the toes. If you get the toes, option to stretch leg to the ceiling for 3. 2, sweep the foot to the top of the mat. Yes, splits or Adha Hanuman. Yes, and she's grabbed her block to prepare. Beautiful. Deep breaths. Opening up through hips, through hamstrings. And it doesn't matter if you stay upright here or if you're folded, but main thing is that you really don't want to be getting that trembly resistance away from the floor. So you can always come back to half split if you're really feeling like you're overdoing it, or if you have that prop underneath. I hope that's helping to let you just let go a little more into the earth. Good. Deep breaths. Two more breaths. Lovely. You push the hands into the floor, move any props, and slowly bring yourself back through Ardha Hanuman. Bend the left knee, plant the palms, tuck the right toes, kick the left leg up and back, bend the knee, peel open the hip just for a yawn open. I know some of you flipped it, and some of you are staying with us just for a yawn through that hip. Wonderful. When you're ready, either a full flow or down dog, you hold. Listen to your breath, listen to your instincts. Lovely. It's so nice to see things, you make choices and things get omitted and things get added. Wonderful. When you're ready, I want you to inhale, right leg lifts. Pigeon pose, right knee toward the right wrist. Settle that shin down. Very good. Just taking a moment, if it feels good, to lengthen up and do any work there through the spine. Our destination is going to be in our forward fold, but I know some of you, I'm looking at you, Elsie, if you want to be staying upright for your king pigeon, you can go there. Good. Up to you, Vix. So she wanted that quad stretch earlier, and I didn't allow her to have it, so now she can have it. Beautiful. So she's working into that gorgeous mermaid shape. So those of you who are already forward folded, you know the drill. It's just working into the hips, deep breaths. And those of you who are upright, you can stay there as little or as long as you like, and you know we'll meet down in that forward fold when you're ready. How's the jaw? How's the mask of the face? Nice one, Elsie. When you are ready, I want you to walk your hands slowly in toward you. What we're going to do is lift ourselves slowly up. Let your right hip drop to the floor and bring the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. So you're going to come into, and Vix is going to spin around so we can see. Thanks, Vix. So that right foot has come to that inner left thigh. And we're going to go for a side bend. So I want you from here, nice, to lengthen sideways down the inside of that leg. And it's up to you if you're working this other hand just relaxing on the leg, or even hand to ribs and rolling that rib cage back and open, because that's the goal, the side bend here, the opening up through the waist. If you then choose to take the hand over the head and cradle the head or do anything like that, you can. Or of course, I know some of you are comfy with lengthening all the way to that foot, just really going with what feels nice. And you'll notice here that already Vicky has made instinctive choices to relax her neck, and I'd love you to do the same. So trying not to accumulate tension, because this last 15 minutes of the practice, if you have been acquiring any excess tension in the fancy stuff, this is the time to really work on unwinding it. And as you become more experienced with the practice, or just even more experienced with individual postures, you learn to breathe better in them. And so that tension is there no more. But just observing. Less tension is what we're after. One more full deep breath. Well done. Slowly, slowly sitting up. Your right hand onto the floor next to your right buttock. Stargazer. Sweep that left arm up. Come up on your knee for 3, for 2. And when you're ready, lower back down. You're going to come back through down dog. So hands plant, tuck the toes. Of course, some of you are keen for a flow. If you're getting cold, do as you need. Otherwise, left leg lifts, pigeon pose. Ready for the second side, Elsie? I know you're doing it. All right, so some of you are staying upright, opening up more through your hip flexors, more through your back bend, because that's one thing I didn't discuss in your splits pose. We often think, oh, my hamstrings are too tight, that's why I can't split. For most of us, it's actually what you're experiencing if you stay upright now in the pigeon, the front of your right hip, your hip flexors that are tight. Well, it could be hamstrings too, but often it's a combo of the two. So some of you stayed upright. I know you might be working through mermaid back bend, and some of you folded forward long ago. Enjoy it. So really trying to get that space through, yes, left hips, but some of you also now right hip flexors. Today those hip flexors are getting plenty of love. Those hip flexors that are often tight when we experience times of stress, when we are sitting a lot, or even when we're training a lot. So if you're coming into that forward folded pigeon, really just relaxing through the mask of the face, letting go. How's your breath? When you're ready, you slowly come up onto your hands. As you walk your hands in toward you, your left butt cheek drops to the floor. Externally rotate that right leg, and you bring that sole of the foot to the inner thigh. And your side bend, you lengthen out that right arm down the inside of that leg. And you know where you're working. Some of you keep the hand on the leg, some of you hands on ribs. Some of you might be reaching overhead and cradling the head. Some of you even reached all the way toward the foot. Doesn't mean you have to have the foot, but options. Just go with what feels good. Make sure the neck is comfy. How's your breath? Relax the jaw. Yeah, it's very easy. Just get that jaw squeezing. That's what my next practice at 9:30 on Facebook Live is going to be a lot about, and I'm going to do some weird acting exercises and releasing the jaw. Yeah, so it'll be an interesting one. All right, so when you're ready, slowly lift up. Placing your left hand on the floor, stargazer, sweeping that right arm up and over, up on the knee, open up through the chest. For 3, for 2, and this time just bring your bottom back down to the floor. I want to do one more Paschimottanasana. Yes, I did say it right. Legs stretched out in front, a seated forward fold. So I want you in your own time, just making sure you're sitting on a good point rather than hanging back in, I'm sorry to use gorgeous language, but rather than sitting back in the bum crack, you want to be kind of more forward onto the genitals. Yes, good morning everybody, 8 a.m. and the beautiful language comes out. So your knees might be soft, that's up to you. The inhale, you lengthen through the spine, and exhale, you fold. I just managed to look at the screen, and when I use words like bum crack and genitals, I suddenly have 3 extra viewers that just popped on. Yeah, I know. Maybe I should use this language more often. All right, everybody. So I want you to fold. You see, I'm not very serious. I'm not taking the practice too seriously, am I? What I would like you to take seriously, however, is your breathing. You can round your spine as much as you like. I really don't mind. I want you to feel length in your back. Let the head drop. Deep breaths. So it will be up to you. If some of you find that your spine is feeling nice and open after this, and if you'd prefer to be coming back soon enough into a shoulder stand, or if you're going to come with me in Viparita Karani, legs up the wall. Hilarious, Cass, bum crack. She's making jokes. Get off your phone. Go back and do yoga. All right. All right. Slowly sitting up. Oh dear. Slowly rolling down onto your back. All right, so your choice, guys. How do you feel? How does your spine feel? Does legs up the wall sound like a really delicious way to finish? And you don't have to use a wall if you don't have a wall handy. You might be placing a block under the sacrum or even a rolled up towel or nothing. I do legs up the wall in the middle of the space in yoga classes without props under my back frequently. So yeah, beautiful. If you're feeling good for shoulder stand, of course, you can press the palms into the floor and lift up there. And I trust that you know your practice and you're going to be comfortable there. Just know that if you're working through that shoulder stand, you're after that space through the back of the neck, you're never turning the head left or right. And if you are working eventually toward that plow, that you don't feel like you have to have the feet touching the floor. Because it's not about the feet touching the floor, it's about how the space in the back of your neck and upper back feels. That's what we're after. So I want you, especially those of you who are in the more restorative version, legs to the ceiling, Viparita Karani, I want you to just really allow the mask of your face to soften, the jaw. Vicky's doing a lovely version with her palms underneath her sacral area, underneath her hips. Those of you who are in shoulder stand, of course, if you want to work through that plow, that deaf man's, I want you to just be guided by your own needs and your own rhythm. Take your time. I want you in your own time to maybe bend those knees back into your chest. Those of you still working through shoulder stand, you'll just be guided out in your own time. And then just when you're ready, arms can open up to the side. A little gentle spinal twist of any choice. So you can do whatever you like with your legs. You might just be keeping the legs squeezed in toward each other and letting the legs drop over to one side of the mat. I don't mind if your legs are bound or whatever it is you want to add in, but I want you to just focus on opening through the chest and spine. We didn't do a lot of twisting today, so this is just a nice counter movement. One more full deep breath in your twist. When you're ready, back through center, you can switch over to second side at your own time. How's your breath? One more full deep breath and long exhale. Take your time to calm back through center. No rush. And if there's any last movements you feel you need, if you feel as though hugging the knees or happy baby, you can do that. Shavasana is the gradual destination. So I want you to just be guided by your own needs and how you feel and finding your Shavasana. And please stay for the Shavasana. I know it's so easy because you're at home to go like, yeah, I got stuff to do. I don't need this part. Thanks for the workout, Em. But not only is this time and space really important for the mental and emotional self, but also as you lay here in your Shavasana, your body is integrating the practice on a cellular level. So that the next time you attempt these unusual side plank variations or the fallen triangle where you're holding onto the foot, it feels a little easier. because you've integrated that practice into your cells. Allow the shoulders to melt into the floor. Allow the muscles in your jaw to just soften a little bit. And those are really hard muscles to let go of, so don't worry if you're finding that a bit tricky. Muscles in the forehead melt back into the skull. There's no squeezing around the eyes. And the feet just flop out to the side. Naturally, if the mind starts to wander or get a little busy, I want you to focus on your exhale and let that thought go. In your own time, I want you to bring a little bit of movement into your fingers, into your toes, just gradually bringing that movement back into the body. And if it feels good, to reach the arms up overhead, beyond your head, beyond your extremities. That's it. You might. And when you are ready, slowly, slowly rolling over onto your side. Please don't rush. Slowly, slowly coming up to a seat. And just allow your hands to rest at your knees. Allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears, and you might close your eyes. And just take an inhale through the nose. Sigh out. Inhale. Release. Once more in. Release. Bring your hands to heart center. Thumbs to your forehead for kind thoughts. Thumbs to your lips for kind words. And thumbs to your heart center for kind actions. Namaste. Thank you guys. Good morning.